everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you could join me here today. So on today's video, I'm going to talk about the books that I read from March 6th to March 19th. So I actually read 8 books in total, so let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about is To Helvetica Back, and this is number 1 in the Dangerous Type mystery series by Paige Shelton. In this book, Claire she runs a store with her grandfather, Chester Henry, and what they do is they restore old typewriters and also restore rare old books. And they have a client who comes in, she has an old typewriter that she wants to restore, and they are doing the restoration. And someone comes into the store and demands that they give him this typewriter. And Claire's looking at it like, no, this is not, why would I give this to you? You have no claim to this. So she tells him, no, we're not going to give you this typewriter. So he leaves and they go about their business. And one day she finds this man dead. So now they find out that there's something else going on involving this typewriter that they didn't even realize. And then it involves this man that has now died. So there's something bigger going on that they need to figure out. And so we had to read this. This was for the series read along, the Killing Time with Cozy's Discord group. And we just discussed it yesterday. And in my opinion, I didn't like it. Unfortunately, I gave it 2 dumplings out of 5. I found it, I wasn't invested in the plot, and I mean, it was, I think it might be the author, and because I read another book by Paige Shelton, it was The Cracked Spine before, and I didn't really like that one. It could be the author's writing. I'm gonna read the second book in the Dangerous Type series, and it could be also that I wasn't focused on the writing, and it's supposedly her writing is very detailed, so I think it might have been I wasn't exactly paying attention to the book when I was reading it. So when I was reading the second book, I'm going to focus a bit more, and I might like that one more. It was I unfortunately I didn't like it, but I'm going to keep trying and see what happens. So the next book that I read was Murder's No Vote of Confidence, and this was number 1 in the Nantucket Candlemaker series. And in this book, Stella Wright, she makes candles, especially candles for different events, so holidays, weddings, things like that. And she makes this candle. It's called a Unity candle. I'm not sure what that actually looks like, but it's for a wedding, and the bride, Jessica Sterling, Stella makes the candle for Jessica's wedding, and Jessica's uncle is going to be walking her down the aisle, but before he does that, he's found dead. He was hit over the head with this Unity candle, and so now Stella has to figure out what happened, why did he die. And this book, I gave it 3 dumplings out of 5. I found it all right. The plot it didn't grab me too much, but it was an okay read. I would have liked more descriptions about how candles are made, things like that. Because with culinary cozies, there's always a lot of description about how they make the cupcakes and the pies, or even when they're making ribs or anything like that. They get into a lot of detail, and I really like that. So it would have been nice in this book if they had talked about the process of making candles, how they'd go about it. That would have been really interesting to me, because I don't know anything about making candles. So I think that would have been good. That would have brought up the rating a bit, but 3 out of 5 is an alright rating. So the next book that I read was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and this is a reread for me, and I actually listened to this on audio. It was part of that free credit that I got with my free trial, and it was part of a bind-up with another Christie novel. And this one, the plot of the book is a group of strangers get invited to this house party on this isolated island, and they don't know what this from an unknown person, and they one by one, each of the guests there and whoever else, like the butler and his wife, they start to be killed off one by one. And then everybody starts to realize that the deaths mirror this nursery rhyme that is on that's in each of their rooms. So then they start to wonder what was going on, or they have to figure out who did it before they're killed next. And so I gave this one. I really like this book. This is as I said before, this is a reread, and I gave it 5 dumplings out of 5. I loved it. And the narrator on this book was Dan Stevens. And so if you watched Downton Abbey, you know who he played, which character he played in the series. His narration was really, really well done as well. And in this book, you can feel the tension in the book and the fear in the characters. Like they're wondering, they don't know what's happening. Are they going to be next? They're looking at the person sitting across from them, and they're thinking, are you the killer? Or are you going to come after me? And they don't know where the killer is. Like they're lurking in the shadows, and it's like when you're a kid, you're afraid of the dark. And so in this, when there's a killer there, you don't know where they are. You're looking down a dark hallway, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, is the killer at the end of the hallway, ready to come at you?" It's like the fear is like palpable, and the tension is so great, and it was a really amazing book. I would highly recommend it, and I know I'm going to reread this over and over again. It was just an amazing book. I really liked it, and I highly recommend it as well. You have to read it. And the next book that I read was Winter House by Ben Gooderson. And this is a middle grade mystery. And this book, and Elizabeth Summers, she is an orphan, and she is sent to live with her aunt and uncle. But she finds out that they're actually away. They've gone on some trip or something. So she can't stay in the house, obviously. So she has to go to this hotel called Winter House. And so when she gets there, she meets a couple of people. Like she makes friends with a young boy named Freddie, and the owner, Norbridge Falls, who was a little bit eccentric but an interesting person, and she has fun interacting with them. But then she also discovers that there's a mystery involving the house that she needs to solve, and also Elizabeth, she's really into puzzle, like anagrams, and she loves to play these games with Freddie. But in the middle of all this, she has to use her puzzle love of puzzles to solve this mystery. And I like this book. It's a little bit slow in the beginning, but it kind of picks up towards the middle and the end. But I gave it 4 dumplings out of 5. It was a good mystery. This is the first time I've read a middle grade book since Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. When I was a teenager in junior high or elementary school, that's when I read Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. So it's an interesting book. It's a little bit different than what I normally read, like the adult mysteries. So it's a bit of refreshing change. I liked it. And the next book that I read was Holiday Grind, and this is by Cleo Coyle, and this was number 8 in the Coffee House Mystery Series. And this was an audio book that I listened to. It's on Audible. It's one of those you could access it for free in the Audible Plus catalog. So in this book, in the series actually, Claire Cozy, she is a manager of a coffee house called the Village Grind, and her friend Alf Glockner, he's the neighborhood Santa Claus. He's a comedian, and he's just really jolly and fun, and he's really good friends with Claire. So, and he's always going over to the coffee house, and they'll sit down and have a coffee and chat. And one day he's found dead, and Claire is devastated because this is her friend. She's wondering what happened. Why did he die? Like, who did this? And so she wants to figure out what's going on because she wants to get justice for her friend. And throughout while she's investigating, she finds out things that Alf was involved in that she didn't know anything about. He didn't tell her. So this series a little bit is not as cozy, as fluffy, I guess you'd say, as what you would find in other cozy mysteries. So it's a little bit edgier, but I like that. And just looking at my notes here, there were a lot of funny moments in this book. I gave this book 4 dumplings out of 5. I enjoyed it, actually. The funny moments in the book, there was a couple, like she has one of her baristas. She was Claire and Esther. That was her barista. They're out doing a little bit of investigating, and Claire finds a brick in Esther's purse, and she's wondering what is going on here. And Esther tells her it's used to ward off those guys that are ogling her as she's walking by. It's like if you can picture the wolf in the Tex Avery cartoons with when his jaw drops and his tongue rolls out when he sees a beautiful woman. So that'll give you an idea of what Esther is talking about. And the other funny moment was when Claire has to wear this skin-tight dress, which leaves nothing to the imagination. Everything is very revealing, and the go-go boots. So those were some of the funny moments in the book. And again, I enjoyed this book, and this book, this series is part of my SAS list. SAS means serious about series. I'll probably be doing a video on my list in another video, but I'm going to keep on reading the series. Actually, this book I liked a lot. And the next book that I read was The Long Quiche Goodbye, and this is by Avery Ames. It is number 1. Yes, number 1 in the can't say it. Cheese Shop Mystery Series. And this book, it features Charlotte Bissett. She runs a cheese show. Hard to say. Cheese store called Fromagerie Bissett, and it was originally run by her grandparents. They're French immigrants, and so they're retiring. So they hand over the business to her, Charlotte, and her cousin Matt, who is a sommelier. So he deals with wines and things like that. So they are having an event to celebrate their opening of the shop where they're going to be selling cheeses and wines. And so what happens is while they're having this event, one of the guests at the party is found dead with one of their cheese knives in his chest. So Charlotte has to figure out what happened, who killed him, why did he die, on top of running the store, and she's also helping to raise Matt's twin daughters. And I gave this book 4 dumplings out of 5. I enjoyed this book, actually. It was very good. I liked it from the first page when I started reading it. It's like, I like this book because this is actually going to be really good. I like the plot. I like the characters. The twin girls, Amy and Claire, are really adorable. They're very sweet, and I'm going to keep reading this series. This is actually, that doesn't happen very often, where I read it from page 1 and I think, I like this. This is a really good book. So that is really good. That's a testament, I guess you could say, to the author that I enjoyed it that much right from the beginning. So I would recommend this book. And this is a new series, but I don't mind. I'm glad I picked it up. So the next book that I read was Death with a Double Edge by Anne Perry, and this is number 4 in the Daniel Pitt mystery series. And in this book, Daniel Pitt, he is a junior lawyer in a law firm, and he learns that one of the senior lawyers has been found dead. So he's wondering what's going on, why did he die? And throughout his investigation, he realizes or discovers that there's something bigger going on than just a lawyer dying. So it involves more plots, more intrigue. There's a lot of influential, powerful people that are involved in this person dying, and it's a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? There's more going on with these people. These powerful people are doing things that they want to keep on going, just to add on to their power and their money, and they will do anything, even murder, to accomplish that. And so I gave this book 4 dumplings out of 5. I enjoyed it. Just looking, So the plot was well planned out, and it kept you interested through the entire book, and you can feel the tension as Daniel is inspecting, investigating the death, and you can feel the tension, his anxiety of trying to figure out what's going on and keep ahead of the killer. And so this was the latest book in the series. And so I'm caught up in the series right now. I think there's a new book coming out. I don't know if it's published yet, but I will definitely read the new book, when it does come out. And then the final book that I read was Spangled Murder by Leslie Meyer. I'm getting the names mixed up here. And this is number 11 in the Lucy Stone mystery series. And in this book, well, in the series, Lucy Stone, she is a mom of 4 kids, and she is a reporter for the Penny Saver in Tinker's Cove, Maine. And the book starts off with her reporting on a council meeting. The town council has these meetings, and so she's what am I trying to say? got a little bit spaced out there for a second. Sorry. So she's reporting on the meeting, and they're talking about canceling the 4th of July fireworks because it would be detrimental. It would actually harm these this lichen that are in the area, like they're over by the pond or something like that. It would actually damage them and kill them. So they want to stop the fireworks. So besides all this, Lucy has an upcoming council meeting or a hearing involving her dog, Kudo, because he's for whatever, he keeps escaping. No matter what they do, they try to keep him on their property in his kennel, but he keeps escaping and going over to their neighbor Prudence Pratt's property and going after her chickens. So it's like he's done this so many times that there's going to be a hearing to figure out what they're going to do with Kudo. And Prudence is not the greatest person. She's not a nice person. She's, every time Lucy and her family encounter Prue, she's just not very nice, and there's constant altercations with Prudence, and so they have to deal with that. And later on, Prue was found dead in a hit and run. She's found dead on her driveway. So Lucy tries to figure out what's going on, because her family is a little bit involved, because there's some altercations with her children and Prue's son, and so Lucy has to figure this out while dealing with other things, like with her dog and things like that. And I found it was okay. It was an okay book. I gave it 3 dumplings out of 5. Let's see. I actually read this. Sorry, I read this book before, but I didn't rate it. When I started reading it, I thought, wait a minute, I actually did read this book before. But I mean, I kept on going because I read so much that I forget the plot sometimes. But I had read this before, but I didn't read it rate it on Goodreads. I'm getting a little bit of that. Sorry about that. For again, I said 3 dumplings. I rated 3 dumplings, and plot was a little bit boring to me. But oh, and they're also in the town council meeting. They're talking about there's a pond that people go to, is that they go out. There's nudists there. They're skiing. They bathe, sunbathe in the nude. So that was a little bit of a funny plot point in the book. Seeing Lucy getting all freaked out when they're going off to the pond to just have a day out to have some fun and enjoy the summer weather, and they see a group of nudists out there, and she's like, "No, gotta get out of here! Come on, let's go!" And she's like, oh, "No way! There's nudists here. We can't be near this." But so that was a little bit of a funny moment there. So again, I gave this 3 dumplings out of 5, and it was an alright book. Alright, so that will do it for today's video. If you like this video, please click on the like button. If you want to be notified when I have new videos posted, click on the notification bell. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, click on the subscribe button. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.